Someone shot the food. Light force flooding out.
Hey there, everybody. It is Monday, June the 7th, 2021, and this is your Mr. Video Game Live Super Show brought to you by Dead Sun Entertainment. We're back again. We were off last week because it was a fucking holiday and I slept and ate hot hamburgers. So, good use of holiday time there. I'm Slacker Kite. I am the editor here. I push buttons, make things go, and say these are stories, what we should talk about this week. I've actually got a pretty extensive docket this week. I'm not sure if we'll get to it in the whole 2 hours, but we will do our best, of course, returning with us this week. They are having. You know what? I'm just not even going to go with that introduction that I had in my head and just say, "Hey, Wonder Boy, how you doing?"
Well, now I want to know what the introduction was.
That's the thing. It turned into other words in the middle of me saying it, and then I forgot where I started. Which I don't know. My head's been fuzzy the last few days, so
It's okay. We're out of we missed a week for holiday, so we're out of practice. We got to get back in shape again. Got to get back on that training regimen with the mouths and the tongues. Anyway, so no, I'm doing well. I'm doing good. Had a nice holiday. Just kind of chilled. Watched a lot of wrestling. Because Memorial Day apparently is now another wrestling weekend. For me, but no, I mean, I played some stuff. Played some more Mass Effect. Played some Apex. Jumped back into Rocket League for a little while. Did some D&D stuff. I don't know. Had some fun. Also a lot of work because it's E3 week and it snuck up on me and I ah E3. It's digital, but it's still.
yeah, I keep hearing every year people talk about how E3 is dead, this and that, and then E3 happens, and like all of the news story happen around E3, whether or not like people are actually at E3 proper, and like, yeah, no, it's still a thing, guys.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, this year is especially. We'll get into this later, but this year especially is different because, like, it's so splintered. It's not just E3. It's every fucking studio doing their own separate thing beyond E3 and in association with E3, but not with it in E3. And also, there's the Summer Games Fest going on, which is at war with E3. They're bitter pro wrestling rivals now. It's a very odd week that honestly is just too much.
I have a question because this is bothering me. I'm looking at my stream and I'm still seeing the Jackbox audience kits. Are you guys seeing that?
Oh, I am not. That's
Okay,
weird.
good. It's probably just like one of my toolbox things, so I don't really need to worry about it. But I completely missed the second half of what you're saying. Is why is there a fucking box on my screen?
No, I mean you got to figure out what that box is.
Yeah, I want to make sure people are seeing the right things, which is currently nothing important, but still.
Hmm. Either way, no, it's been a good week though. It was a good week to kind of a good weekend to kind of like decompress a little bit before just going as if Pride Month wasn't already balls to the wall for me. Like Pride Month and E3.
At the same time.
Hooray! It pays to be queer and a games person.
Like I kind of enjoyed the amount of like nothing time to play even more Resident Evil 8 because boy, they are really good with just dropping little treasures in, just for you to aspire to getting, like a fucking rocket pistol. It is all right. I'll play the game again for a fucking unlimited rocket pistol. Why not?
Good to see that physics have no meaning in the Resident Evil world, as
Mm.
they shouldn't.
Well, you do have to do like nightmare mode in order to get the thing, so you have to work a lot to allow for physics breaking.
Mm.
But some of those like unlockables, like there's a fucking lightsaber. This is not even put two mince words on it. There's a fucking lightsaber, and it's too hard for me to get. You got to double S everything. I'm not getting it.
The world doesn't deserve Resident Evil Village.
Mm. Oh, yeah, of course, we also have the Lady Morrowind. Thank you for
Hi.
subscribing for 20 months as well.
Yeah, no worries. Um, yeah, it's all good. I just hang out here and am happy I'm not stoned on painkillers anymore.
Woo!
But
Yeah,
why
right?
not?
Why not?
Mhm.
Because I don't need them, and they gave me like the heaviest of the heavies to try to make me like survive the
But
beginning of the week.
see, wouldn't that make the podcast just that much more fun?
It would sure as hell make work that much more fun.
Yo, I've listened to plenty of podcasts where people are like, let's get drunk, it'll be awesome. It's not.
Well, no, you have to have the sober people there to guide the situation forward. And I have done phone service before when out on Vicodin, and it was my favorite time ever. So,
Oh, fucking party.
They gave me hydromorphone.
oh,
That's the one I haven't heard of, so it must be good.
It's a synthetic morphine.
Oh
oh.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had that before.
Um,
That's fun too.
they just gave me like 1 milligram tablets, and they're like, if you need to, you can take two, but no more than like every 4 hours. I was like, okay, sure, sure, I'm fine with this. One, pretty much you feel everything just kind of gets numb. Two, and you have no cares.
Good times.
As tempting as it was for work, but no,
So I
no.
guess you haven't been up to much during our break then.
Um, I haven't been playing a lot, but I've been watching somebody play a lot. So Peter decided to dive into Days Gone.
Okay.
And to be honest, after spending multiple hours watching him play this, I don't know why everybody was giving this game such a hard time when it came out. Like, it's actually really good. The storyline is solid. You give a shit about the characters. The play is pretty decent. Um, but yeah, like I've been enthralled. There have been genuine tears at points during this. So it's I say it's definitely worth a playthrough. It kind of ticks all the boxes. You've got you've got to deal with some creativity, you've got to deal with some stealth, there's flat out massacring. Like it's actually really good. The voice acting was solid, and I'm just impressed. I really am.
Yeah, I'm good with the lower end Helen Hunt here, but I've always just heard middling things about it. Like I've never heard bad or good. Just yeah, it's a game that exists.
It If you want something that like gives you the fun of like zombie stomping,
Uh,
although cuz zombies is technically like a trademark term, they're called freaks.
Okay.
Um, and you want something that's really heavily story driven, this is it. Like, it is so good. So very good. Being able to watch characters grow and, like, fall in love with them or absolutely come to despise them over the course of the game. Like, there have been instances while he was playing that there'd be a character that we both hate that has a chance of dying, and when they don't die at that moment, there is much cursing. So yeah, like, you just genuinely actually start giving a shit, which is amazing. I haven't actually had this kind of feels for a game in a while.
Well, I mean, that's usually the good sign of any catastrophe event, movie, game, etc. Is like, do you care about whether character X gets killed or if they do get killed? Like, I think that's kind of,
Yeah.
if you can get that right, you've done a decent job at the least.
I mean, granted, the character you play as, which is the one in the baseball hat that we see here, is Deacon St. John.
Okay.
And I swear to God, if that isn't a porn star name, I don't know what is.
I
And
mean,
then,
yeah, that or the voice of Duke Nukem.
yeah, yeah. And the dude with the gun on the wall is Boozer, your best friend, your bro. And just watching the two of them develop throughout the game is amazing. Um, but yeah, it's definitely worth a look. Like, I wouldn't say, like, go ahead and pay full price, despite the fact there is a ridiculous amount of gameplay.
Hmm.
But if you catch it on sale, take it. Like, totally worth it. Um, much motorcycles, because you're both part of a motorcycle club. I don't know how well that actually holds up in a post-apocalyptic world. Uh, the game actually takes place in Oregon.
Hooray!
Mostly, yeah, mostly the northern wilds and near the mountains and
Yeah, it
in the
makes
mountains.
sense. I mean, the studio that made it is based in Bend, so
Hmm.
Tracks.
And it's a pretty game. Like, the scenery is amazing. The music is incredible. Like, look at this. How gorgeous is this? And this is like in engine. This is gameplay level graphic.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's what you get when you develop an Unreal. You usually get beautiful games.
yeah, like, we saw a few awkward glitches,
Mm.
but nothing beyond game breaking. Um, the only thing is like, for a zombie game, you know how all zombie games, it's like, hey, the world is fucked up. The zombies have risen. This is why.
Yeah.
I don't think we actually get the why ever.
I think that's a good thing, honestly. Like, I kind of like the idea of just going through something and never knowing why all this happened.
Pardon me as I ban a dimwit.
Thank you.
Reported. And let's see, spam. Um, Banna,
Come on, Fahoga gods. I know you're jocking
and submit, close, banned.
me. Ah,
Which is hilarious because I thought I had banned those terms. All right, more stuff to add to the banned list.
oh well.
Yeah.
Well, shall we, well, mostly drop into short story. Shall we, let's get started with a little bit of, I don't have good words for it. Let's, promote one of our, some of our work here. Brian, you put together a article I haven't actually read yet because I didn't know it existed until a minute before the show.
it's okay. It only went up today, so
Fair
like
enough. Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, it's Pride Month, and I'm a big old queerbo, and I write for a big old queerbo website.
Oh yeah, you are.
And so I took the opportunity with those things coalescing to put together a big old roundup of Pride Month related stuff going on in the gaming world. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff going on, obviously, like not just like games that are doing in-game items and stuff like that, but a number of like awesome events that are being put on by different organizations. You know, Queer Women in Esports are having they're doing an interview series throughout the month focusing on each letter of the acronym
Mhm.
of the LGBTQIA and kind of highlighting voices from each of those communities during those over on their Twitch channel. You got the Queer Games bundle over on itch.io that's up there. There's also a tabletop bundle that's available on itch.io that is raising money for mermaids and the Transgender Law Center. That's pretty rad. Um, Steam has their LGBTQ game sale, but whatever, it's Steam. They removed the LGBTQ tag from their like publicly available list of categories and tags like last month. So fuck them.
Mm.
And then like a bunch of other stuff too. Like Rocket League now has like some rainbow stuff in there, like like rainbow wheels that you can put on your car, and they have a new playlist with a bunch of queer musicians, including Lil Nas X and Big Frida. You also have GamerX. They're like spotlighting a bunch of stuff. Boston Gamers is doing a big Pride Streamathon on June 11th, raising money for the Transgender Emergency Fund. Apex, of course, Apex is going to do something queer because they have so many queer characters in it. They have a new Pride badge that's out there. And then of course Valorant and stuff, and League of Legends has added some queer iconography into the games as well. The one that was interesting to me though mostly was the Xbox one, because so Xbox, they announced that they were going to donate $150,000 to various LGBTQ organizations, which is dope. They they've got some Pride themed stuff that they're adding to various games, like Halo Master Chief Collection and Forza and all that good stuff.
Yep.
But the one thing that drew a lot of eyes is the fact that they put out this whole section of their announcement about this Pride controller that they made, but they're not making it available for like the public. They're gifting it to quote key influencers and media.
Mm-hmm.
Beg pardon?
Yeah. So the controller they made that is inspired by all of the pride flags is not available for the queers to buy it. And
First off, I just really want to applaud your use of how you promoted that Xbox controller story.
oh no, it was the perfect tweet. Thank you, Patricia Hernandez. Like it was the perfect tweet because like yes, that was that was one of my first experiences being called that was on Xbox Live. So it spoke to me heavily. So yeah, that's frustrating to see. The other thing that stood out to me in a positive light, well, two things. One, if you haven't played Tell Me Why yet, the game from Don't Nod that made like honestly made history and being like the first majorly published game with a trans protagonist that players control. That game is available for free during Pride Month on Windows 10, Steam, and Xbox. So you can go download all 3 episodes of that right now for free, and you get to keep it forever. If you haven't played that yet, if you like Life is Strange, Tell Me Why is a good analog there. And then also Knockout City, because we haven't really talked about Knockout City, but that game since launching last month has had a meteoric rise. Like they are up to like 5 million concurrent players for the dodgeball game that we kind of I will admit we poo-pooed a little bit whenever they had the initial announcement during a I can't remember if that was a state of play or if that was an Xbox thing, but I remember being a little underwhelmed when watching it. But
Yeah, I remember us mocking it pretty harshly.
yeah, and I feel bad now because apparently that game is really good. I haven't played it yet, but I'm very curious about it because I like dodgeball stuff. But it's got a big player base now, and that partially is because they allowed people to play it for free for a little while. just to kind of get them a taste of it. But they also are announcing a bunch of Pride player icons, which honestly is probably the widest array of Pride flag themed icons that I've seen a game put out. I mean, they have 21 different ones. They go down to even like they have one with the intersex flag on it. They have one with like the demigirl flag on it. Like they put in some work to get a bunch of stuff in there, which is amazing to see. So yeah, and also Dead by Daylight, you get they're working on more, but they have a rainbow flag charm out now. Apparently, they're working with GamerX to kind of actually make some substantial LGBTQ content. They didn't want to rush it, and they wanted to have somebody to help them actually that it works with the community and our members of the community to put something together. So there's a lot of stuff out there. I'm sure there's more beyond this. I'm positive, but this was a good collection of stuff that I found.
Yeah,
I
like
will say,
go ahead.
oh, no, please.
I'm amazed at the number of people putting out brands, big brands putting out stuff, and certainly you can look at it very negatively as just trading on what's popular at the moment, etc. But having brands trade on that popularity is usually a very positive sign that things are going right. And the fact that some brands have gone so far to fuck it up royally.
Are you talking about WB?
Yeah, WB primarily, though, Xbox putting out a Pride controller that only special influencers can use when they have an entire store where you can fucking customize your controllers and adding this one faceplate to all the other customizable things. Some of these decisions are amazing to me, but huge shout outs to like itch.io and several other. Yeah, some of these didn't have to do the things they did. I mean, itch.io stands out the most to me, especially because it is such a community that does have so much in the LGBTQ sphere on their platform. But there's a lot here that's really positive, and you know, were we a different show, we would probably go into the awful of it. But yeah, just even down to the Dead by Daylight charm, it's just cool.
Very much. And I mean, I can confirm the Forza one with great joy. I logged in the other day to a mail, like a message from the admin team going, "Hey, yeah, it's Pride Month, so here's a free car."
Bless you.
If only they did that
Sorry.
for the queers in real life.
Yeah, right? And it was
Pride Month, free
actually
car.
a really adorably wrapped rainbow Ford Fiesta.
Yes.
So they gave us a party on wheels.
Mm.
Uh, I know that thing is going to probably cost me a couple mil just to upgrade to make it drivable, but
Mm.
that's fine.
It's a free base car regardless.
Yeah, and it's really pretty. Like, my favorite thing to do in that game is to design cars, and I even with what I've been able to put out, I can't come anywhere close to matching this.
No, another fun one at the very end there is the fact that Square Enix apparently made a Pride mascot, and they are asking people to submit names for it. So if you have any good names for the Square Enix mascot for Pride, tweet them.
I have to say I like that too. I wasn't aware of this before literally now, but look at that boy. Or whatever it might be. I shouldn't assume. But look at it. It's so cute.
It looks like kind of like if Sega did Pokemon.
I'm
So
very sorry but it reminds me way too much of that awful 1996 Atlanta Olympics character.
Yo, we will not have any Izzy slander on this podcast. You get the fuck out. Izzy is legit.
Oh, for those that don't know, Olympics. Yeah, this guy here was an entire fucking mascot for the 1996 Olympics and was fucking everywhere in Atlanta in
Yeah, he
1996.
was. I had
and
a
in video
pennant
games
with him
and on
on
your
it.
cartoons.
Yeah, I had a pennant with him on it from the Olympics when I went to the Olympics. I do not care. Izzy is great. I wish I still had that pennant. I don't know where it is.
The only thing I saw at the Olympics was baseball, which I saw better baseball watching the Braves. It was a little bit lackluster.
Olympic baseball is like amateurs, so like it's not professional players, so that makes sense in a way. I get to see the dream team play
Oh fuck
that
yeah!
summer, so that was rad. I got to go to the gold medal game where they beat the shit out of Lithuania.
That's the one time beating the shit out of Lithuania will be seen positively on this show.
Yes, in basketball.
Isn't like winning against Lithuania in basketball like the same as beating Italy in hockey?
No,
Because the
Lithuania was actually pretty
IIHF
good.
tech
Yeah, like that was a
tournament just
championship
finished,
game.
and that was bad.
Yeah, they're fine. I think I spoke
I
over you once, Brian.
It's okay. It's okay. I just wrote. We can move on from this stuff unless you had a question, but I just had to point out. I love that on the Wikipedia entry for Izzy, there's an entire section just called "Media Ridicule." It's just beautiful.
Let's face it, it earned. I love Izzy, unironically, but it earned its ridicule. I just wanted to move it up after this was later in the show or earlier, but after seeing that tweet from Patricia Hernandez, want to just roll off that real quick and congratulate her for her new editorial chief role at Kotaku. She does a hell of a job, and excited to see what she can do as the chief editor.
Yes, she is outstanding. She was outstanding when she worked at Kotaku previously before leaving to go to Polygon for a little while. I think she's a great pick to lead that vertical going forward. Also, while we're talking about like new gigs for people, I just want to do a quick shout out to Nextlander, which is the new venture from the X Giant Bomb guys, Brad Shoemaker, Vinny Caravella, and Alex Navarro that launched today. Their Patreon is exploding just hours after it was announced, and they put out their first like podcast episode, and they got a thing going over there. So it's gonna be dope.
I have to imagine that sounds like the biggest launch I've heard since the Kind of Funny guys got started originally.
Yeah, like it's huge, and they're gonna be working with Waypoint on some E3 stuff, so they're jumping right back into the deep end. No breaks.
Speaking of course, the upcoming week is going to be E3. The schedule is up for your perusal. We'll definitely be talking about it on Monday. Everything that we see up until the point. Maybe cover a bit of it since I think there will still be shows going on when we go live on Monday.
I believe so. The schedule, because like this isn't even really the full schedule of everything going on this week. This is just the E3 branded stuff.
Mm.
But like there's stuff that starts on. Let me pull up the full schedule for myself here real quick, and I can let you know. Stuff really gets started on Wednesday. For like Wednesday, we have the Battlefield reveal. Like EA is gonna be talking about the next Battlefield game, and then Summer Game Fest does their kickoff event on the next day on Thursday. So we're getting into the thick of it much earlier than the actual E3 schedule looks like, which is one of those things that why I was just like, there's just so much going on. Like really, we don't even get to our first proper E3 like press conference until Sunday when Xbox takes the stage.
Oh.
in the morning. Like, I mean, Ubisoft has their forward thing on Saturday, as well as Devolver Digital has their direct on Saturday, and then Gearbox has something on Saturday, and Guerrilla Collective has something on Saturday. Coke Games, the Coke company that owns like Deep Silver and a bunch of other people, they are having an event on Friday. Like, there's a bunch. This is why I was talking about why it's so splintered now. It's because so many people have split off from E3 and doing their own thing that it's just a ton of stuff happening all throughout the week. And then it all caps off Tuesday whenever their Nintendo Direct on Tuesday morning. So it's going to be almost a full week of stuff, and the conference is still going after that. The conference isn't even over then.
Yeah, and I figure we were talking about it a bit before the show, but I don't think we decided. Do we want to try to do something like Thursday or Friday night?
We can figure that out off stream, but I mean definitely we're gonna be doing some E3 stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the very least, keep attention. I'll at least be talking about E3 as I see it in the Now Playing channel.
Yes,
Yeah, and
keep an eye on the Discord.
yeah, I'm sure other people will be talking about it with us as well, since the Dead Sun community does love its discussion of its weird shit.
And there's gonna be plenty of it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I hope that your caffeine intake stays strong during the upcoming week. Because I can imagine
Always.
being in the Wonder Boy position right now.
Yeah. Fucking inject the coffee in my vein.
Like, I feel bad because right now, this is the quiet season for my job. So, because, like, doctors don't want to fuck around with their software in the middle of, like, when the kids are off of school. That's their money making time. Get Timmy's cavity filled in.
See, my busy time starts now as well because WWDC just kicked off today.
Oh God.
Pour one out for both of you. However, in the opposite direction, well, I think I copied the wrong link. Who cares? BlizzCon has been canceled for 2021. I don't need a fucking link to show that one off.
Who would have surprised? Who's surprised?
If Blizzard hiding their head in the sand for the next year until they can actually roll something out, it's probably the best thing that company can do for right now.
I mean, there's been so much like turnover and turmoil with like staffing stuff at that studio. Overwatch 2, the stream they did for Overwatch 2, while it had a lot of positives to it, there were also some head scratchers in there as well. But like, I don't know, they're just not in a good place to be doing this sort of like forward facing uh towards their audience event sort of thing, even if it is virtual, you know.
Yeah, they got a
Yeah.
little over Activision. I think they need to dial down the Activision for a hot minute.
What if I told you that they're not gonna dial down the Activision ever?
I would really like for them to
Really?
dial down the Activision, though.
Can't
mean-
always get what you want.
Yeah, but you're supposed to at least get what you need. I mean, they told us that much in that song.
You're getting Overwatch 2. That's what you need.
Oh, fuck no.
I
I need
like,
I need a new division title, but that's not even Blizz. So
You're getting the Diablo 2 remaster. That's what you need.
the Diablo 2
God no.
remaster might not be bad with the people they have working on it right now.
I'm not saying it's gonna be bad. I just don't think it's like what people want from Blizzard right now.
No, they really need something big and bright, and, to show, yeah, fuck yeah, we're still Blizzard. Like, they had that moment when Overwatch came out and then kind of shat themselves for the next 5 years.
Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna move this one up a bit, but figured it's probably while we're on this right energy, and thank you Danielle Partes over at Game Industry, our favorite website as always. Yuji Naka has left Square Enix after the release of Balan Wonderland that went over as well as you have heard for sales of Balan Wonderland. I've seen several What Happened, especially the show actually called What Happened over there at Matt McMuscles. If you ever really want the insight on how everything went as off the rails as it did, but yeah, I don't see Yuji writing a epic spanning RPG ever, so it probably will be the best for him.
This is a bummer though. Like this was like he self-described this as his one chance to make a, a full-scale platforming game like this.
Well, his one
And
chance was Squeenix.
yeah, well, probably with. I mean, definitely he'll land on his feet. He's worked on enough franchises that I think that he'll be okay in the long run. But this hurts. I feel like it's a bummer because like and because Balan Wonderworld, I get what they were going for with it, but the execution was just terrible overall. And the thing is, like a lot of people keep like hammering on how bad the game is. Like the people that made the game know how bad it was.
Oh yeah.
There have been multiple people in the that were part of the dev cycle there, or that have worked in game dev that have worked on bad games that have voiced that. It's like you don't like you have to understand people that are working on bad games know they are bad and are trying to do the best that they can to make it not as bad. Like so it just sucks that this is the way that it came out for him. And like I said, Yuji Naka has enough pedigree, being head of Sonic Team at one point, that he'll land on his feet somewhere. But this is just a bummer that one game can end up like impacting a position so heavily.
Oh, absolutely. It is one of those things that I think a lot of people really need to keep in their head, as you said, that the people making these games, they know already, like, yeah, this game did not turn out as we wanted it to. And there, once a ship has gone that wrong, there often is no righting it. There is just put put out what you have, release it, and then move on to your next project. Oh, but he could have taken several years to instead, start over again fresh. Do you really think a platformer in the modern day would really have sustained a company on release that much?
Well,
Nobody was putting out that money.
well, no, but I mean, I don't think it needed to sustain a company per se. And
Not the whole company, but like his production team.
no, but I think that people had like accurate expectations for what a platformer can do in the current games environment.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a world breaker, but it can be. You can make games like that do produce a sizable return. And it just sucks that Balan Wonderworld was the game that ended up being the end product of all of that, because Yuji Naka has proven that he has the capability, even though it's been a little while since you really had a chance to really show that. I think really his work on Sonic and Nights and Dreams are probably the two things in the platforming realm that he's best known for. But like I said, it made sense to trust Yuji Naka to put something like that together. It's just this thing came off the rails so quickly,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I don't. It pains me because I don't feel like a bad project should cost anybody their job.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And what I'm saying is they couldn't have just canned it after 3 years and started over from scratch to, put out something that might have been better with the same name. It, um, there just wouldn't have been the money to keep them going for that long within the team itself. The overall production company is going to be fucking fine.
Yeah.
But at some point, you have to cut your losses, put it out, and whatever revenue you can make from it. And Balan Wonderland may not have been the game everyone wanted, but I absolutely promise you, and I have seen several people stating that this is one of the best games they played in a while. There is an audience for this. There is an audience that even loved this. So saying it as like an absolute flop is, I don't think, correct for any way you look at it. It just was not the amazing return of Yuji Naka that everyone was hoping for and banking on.
No, that's very true. You're not going to get an Anthem 2.0 situation out of this. So
I'm still mad we didn't get a Anthem 2.0 situation. I would have loved to see it. I would have even fucking played that shit. Oh
you
well.
and I.
A little bit more on the positive side, coming back to better things here. Thank you, Nathan Greason over at Kotaku. Facebook is giving 100% of all subscription money earned on the platform for, I believe it was the next few years,
Yeah, the next
to the
2 years.
streamers. Yeah, okay. Which, while it has its caveats, is still pretty fucking cool.
I will cede the floor to Lindsay.
Yeah, yeah, you
we
definitely had
we were
some
talking
opinions before
extensively
this.
about this before we went live, and Lindsay had thoughts.
Okay, so on the surface, this looks great. If you're an existing content creator on Facebook that has an existing following, this is fucking fantastic for you. Yay, more money.
Mm.
However, if you are a small streamer, if you are a new streamer, look very carefully into the requirements for getting affiliated or monetized on Facebook because they suck. In addition, it stipulates that you'll get 100% of that subscription fee as long as it's purchased on desktop. And I said this before the stream, but I don't know about y'all, but if I'm browsing Facebook, it's on my phone. I don't know anybody who uses Facebook on desktop anymore.
I mean, I will be the devil's advocate on this. It's not like it is Facebook's fault that the stuff that you are getting through the app isn't 100% going to the streamer, because the platform takes a cut as well.
Yeah, I know. That's why, like, if ever I see like event postings on Facebook and I want to buy tickets to it,
Mm.
that is one of the few times I will hop on my desktop instead because I am not paying the Facebook premium plus the Google Play Store premium on those tickets. I refuse. Tickets are a fucking ripoff as is.
Especially with the joy and wonders of scalpers for any tickets in this day and age.
Uh-huh. Trust me, I used to deal with it often
I'm
in my
aware.
former life as the gopher for the rich and famous. I need these tickets that are going on sale in the next 30 seconds. Yeah, they're sold out. So, how about those secondary market tickets?
No, I want them at $300, not at $1,200.
1200. You're lucky. Where do you see them for 12? I only see them for 18. Yeah. So, I mean, like, nice try, Facebook. You're going to benefit the bigger creators that already exist, but you're not going to foster anything for smaller creators. Because, like, I mean, I know that there are a lot of people out there that stream exclusively to Facebook. Their discoverability is still shit.
Yeah.
And their subscription fees are not that great. I mean, when you compare it to something like Twitch Prime, where like even in Canada, it's like $12 a month, and I get Prime Video, I get Twitch Prime, where I get free games, and you know. But then Facebook, it's like, hey, here's like, I think it's something like $8 US, and it's you've supported the streamer. And I mean, yes, support small streamers, but at the same time, come on, Zod,
Subscriptions are
you're a
actually
billionaire.
$5.
$5. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, the
I'm guessing
sorry,
8
go ahead.
Canadian, 5 American.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that might be it. Hey,
Yeah.
shit, Facebook actually finally acknowledging Canadians exist.
So what interests me about this is like obviously the messaging speaks to uh the smaller creators, the new creators that might want to be jumping into this and see this as a deal that would be great for them without looking at the the fine print there
Hmm.
with their eligibility requirements, which are astronomical whenever you're talking about new creators. But I'm wondering how this looks to people that have sizable audiences on Twitch and have the opportunity to possibly switch over to Facebook and get more um, and basically not have to pay that percentage to whatever platform they're on.
You know, if you are one of the larger folks, you probably do have to take a look at things like this and, consider your options, right? Because while the money may be larger on Facebook potentially, I think the name Mixer is always going to continue to loom largely in everyone's head when they're saying, well, what if I abandon Twitch for something that may be more lucrative? The question is, how long will they stay in the game? And, how competitive will that game be? I mean, yeah, Facebook's not going anywhere, but Facebook streaming continues to be a question mark, I think, most people.
I mean, Facebook video in general is a question mark. Like it has been a
Oh,
question mark for a long time. Like let's be real. Like it basically because of the issues with Facebook's video statistics and how they inflated them over the past few years,
Mhm.
it basically like ruined online media
Oh,
because like
absolutely.
so many people banked on like video content and pivoting away from written to video specifically because of the returns that Facebook was promising, and then it turns out, oh well, we faked all that, whoopsie. Like it's hard to trust Facebook. Obviously, that I think that's probably the easiest sentence that anybody anywhere can say. It is hard to trust Facebook. Um, but at the same time, like it is attractive. It
Mhm.
is
it
attractive.
is. So
So I don't know.
they're saying that this is like people in the Level Up program are eligible. To be eligible for the Level Up program, gaming creators on Facebook have to stream games for 4 hours in the prior 2 weeks on at least two separate days in that same period. And they also need at least 100 followers on a page that's been active for more than 2 weeks. And the admin of that page has to be older than 18.
Hmm.
So we could make zero money on Facebook right now, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Basically, and that's not even before like the requirements to get a subscription button
Yeah.
as
So
well.
the partnership program, because when you're in the Level Up program, you can get stars, which are like bits on Twitch. So to become a partner for Facebook Gaming, it's judged on engaged followers and your stars revenue. So to be considered for a partnership program, a gaming creator needs to have at least 3,000 engaged followers and earn $2,000 in a month.
Yeah. That fine print slaps you down real fast.
It doesn't lend like their criteria lends more for a I'm already established elsewhere. I'm bringing my viewership over as well.
Mhm.
Whereas like with Twitch, like to become an affiliate, it's what was it? Something like fuck, I can't even remember what the affiliate requirements were, but I know like for partner, it's got to be 25 hours on 12 different days with an average of 75 viewers in a month.
Sounds about right.
Oh, there we go. The affiliate is 50 followers, stream for 8 hours on 7 different days with an average of 3 viewers in a 1 month period. And it's a rolling month.
Mm.
So you have a bad day, wait till the end of the month, that day gets erased.
Mm.
So I don't know. Facebook just seems a little a little underhanded on that one.
Nah, I mean, the more you read into this, the more it looks like they're just trying to like position themselves to pull like streamers with heavy followings already to
They're
their
the new
platform.
Mixer.
Yeah.
It
They are
basically,
legit the new Mixer.
except somehow worse than Mixer.
Well,
Even
didn't
though
Microsoft
Mixer was good, I say that, but I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. Mixer was fine.
Yeah, Mixer was
Hey,
fine.
hey Calvarin, Mixer was fine until you tried to get monetized.
Yes.
And then it was just as dumb as Facebook's.
My I still just question anything like moving to Facebook because who is like going to sustain a Facebook stream? I know like most of the millennials I know abandoned Facebook, much less Gen Z.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of small streamers when they're starting out, they'll end up doing multi-streams to Facebook and Twitch.
Mm.
And back when Mixer was a thing, they'd multi-stream to Mixer too. But once you become an affiliate on Twitch, you're not allowed to do that shit anymore. It's actually in your affiliate contract that you cannot have the same content on another platform within the same 24-hour period. So, eh.
Yeah, it is a big old eh. All right, let's dive into a couple of just names I didn't expect to ever hear again when we're talking games media. For starters, Ken and Roberto Williams. You may remember from the old Sierra Online games, are coming back with a new game called The Secret.
Wait, they were behind Sierra?
They
Sierra
were
Online.
they were yeah, there were some of them, some of the founders of the company.
They were behind one of my absolute favorite games of all time, and if I could get it to run on a modern system, I'd be fucking thrilled. Because Sierra's Creep Night Pinball was incredible. We're talking back in the Windows 95 days.
Doesn't ring a lot of the brain bells, but meh.
It was awesome. I
Uh,
have been searching my whole life for another pinball game that was just as good, and I haven't found one.
but yeah, most of your golden era of adventure games spawned from the Williams. And they retired in the 90s and apparently have decided, we'll do one more. We kind of miss it.
I also love that they're making the game in Unity. I don't know why that just gives me a little bit of a chuckle. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm actually glad. I kind of thought Ken and Roberta Williams is split up. I'm actually kind of happy to know they're still together. Good for them after all of these years. Still in that history, Nolan Bushnell is coming back. he has been around for a while. He's definitely done a lot of very interesting things in the sphere. Nothing that makes big headlines, but he's been around since the Atari days. And it looks like he's heading up a cast of big directors here in order to start up a new company or studio, Athena Worlds.
Blizzard, EA, Konami. Jesus,
Yeah, he poached a whole lot of big names.
that's kind of amazing.
Yeah, this seems like a company that's going to be focused just as much on building out like tools as they are on building games. So this could be interesting. I don't know. I'm curious to see what kind of like technology they're working on. Because like like the flavor text seems real nice, like cinema quality stuff in video games and that sort of thing. Like is it sounds cool, but there's been plenty of pitches that have sounded cool.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
so I don't know. Like I don't mean to like poo poo on it or anything like that, but it's just like I it's interesting. It's very interesting, and I'm curious to see exactly what comes out of this. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's not. We have seen old names come up to poach a lot of big names in the industry to not produce much of anything. I mean, hell, look what happened with the Stadia team. Um, it happens more times than not. These giant studios come out with big ideas and then don't make anything. But it's at one time out of 10 that they produce something amazing. And if this is primarily a tool to a development platform for other houses, there is gaggles of money to be made in that if you make the right one.
That's very true.
And let's talk about an actual museum, going from names that have been in museums. Nintendo is turning a historic manufacturing plant into a Nintendo museum in the year 2024. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I thought there already was a Nintendo museum in Japan. But I guess
No,
there
that's
wasn't.
a good question. Give me a minute.
Yeah, if anyone can
Hmm.
find it's Lindsay, but I couldn't find one at all. So the fact that they waited until now to make one seems strange to me, but
I don't know. Like if you're gonna get around to it eventually, like you got the building, might as well retrofit it.
yeah, yeah,
Like the
and
original Nintendo building is still like a tourist destination. Like back when they were doing playing cards, like that thing is still standing.
hmm.
Has a nice plaque on it and everything.
Oh yeah, that much I'm aware of, and I even have because of course I do. I even got a deck of Nintendo playing cards. They're relatively cheap. I didn't even know they were still making them still. Um, and they're beautiful, honestly. Uh, so yeah, Nintendo makes quality products. News at 11.
I'm into this idea a lot. This would be something I would gladly go visit.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
um, so I mean, in the course of my research, there is technically a Nintendo museum,
okay.
but it's not a place.
No?
On September 23rd of 2019, released on the Switch, was a game called Nintendo Museum.
Huh.
It was a collection of old Nintendo games, arcade NES or the Famicom, the SNES, Super Famicom, Nintendo 64, GameCube, Game Boy, Super Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. was developed by Nintendo EAD. The compilation is based on the Namco Museum series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I kind of remembered that. It didn't
Hi,
read as
Rye.
extremely impressive, at least to me. Hey, Rye. Um, but the modern day Nintendo is looking very interesting. A lot of people have been talking about. There seems to be agreement in a whole lot of people, in a whole lot of circles, not just in the reporting world, but in developers and whatnot. It really does sound like a beefier Switch is coming up soon. Examples of reasons this might come, or at least proof, is that there are people developing some higher end technology, and it has Nintendo's name on it. So they definitely have to be doing something with it. And there's so many bits of information out there that came from different sources, going from that 7-inch OLED display, and all of the other items. Um, and $300 price tag has been quoted from multiple people. I have to imagine it coming out sometime this week. It I don't know how they don't announce that prior to E3 happening.
Well, if they're gonna do that, they got a very short window. Um, Now, granted, a lot of the studios that are gonna be like doing events aren't necessarily heavy on making games for Switch,
Right.
uh, or at least people that are announced that are gonna be going with presentations ahead of the start of E3 are not too heavy there. Probably the heaviest being Devolver Digital. Um, but I don't know, like we've been hearing about a new beefier Switch for like what feels like more than a year now at this point. Um, Obviously, there's something going on. I don't know if we'll hear about it this week, um, or not. I mean, maybe Nintendo doesn't like to give a lot of headway to whenever they're going to make announcements. It's literally just, hey, there's a
Oh yeah.
direct like next week, or there's a direct tomorrow. So like there's a chance. There's always a chance they could announce it before then. I wouldn't be surprised if they wait until their Treehouse Direct on Tuesday, even though it is the last day of the conference. Um, I don't know. Nintendo does things on their own time. And I don't think that they would feel pressured to announce that ahead of everybody else, ahead of their own scheduled thing.
But what I've heard from, and this is the information I've kind of taken from some journalist, is that because um, they have the indie showcase this weekend, and then the showcase on Tuesday is going to be just upcoming games, with a focus on third party developers. From at least my understanding of what I've read, that they want to have the information out before the announcement because people will be making games that will be shown on the hardware.
True, but I mean, you don't necessarily have to advertise that you're showing it on that hardware or whenever you're showing it, because like I don't know, like to me, yes, on paper that sounds like the correct order of operations for this sort of thing, right?
Hmm.
That you want to have the announcement out there ahead of time so people can say, "Hey, we have our stuff on the new Switch." But Nintendo, yes, they curry favor with third-party developers a lot, but at the same time, let's be real, Nintendo is much more heavily focused on what they got cooking.
True.
So it's one of those things where I would not be surprised, like if there's no announcement ahead of the other conferences, and you just have people announcing like, "Hey, this is on Switch," and then they use their time with their first party games to say, "Hey, we have a new Switch. It's going to run at this frame rate. It's going to be this much better of a display, and let's show you how that is with our own game. And yeah, yes, that might ruffle some feathers with third-party people, but at the end of the day, there are enough Switches in households that those third-party developers know that they will still that's still an ecosystem that they need to play in. This isn't like the Wii or the Wii U, like where you could easily bypass those systems with your games because the play styles for a lot of games during that era did not cater to what the Wii or Wii U was trying to do. But with the Switch, there's a bit more of I would imagine there's a bit more of a hesitance to try and disassociate yourself with that system. So Nintendo really is in the driver's seat here with this. I would not be surprised if they play very close to the vest until Tuesday, and then we get our big announcement during their direct.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all that. Nintendo is going to do at the end of the day what Nintendo do. We're especially not looking at lean days like GameCube or Wii U. The Switch, while not being a Wii, and or a 3DS in number of sales, it still is pretty goddamn popular. So they could surprise us with goddamn anything at this point because Nintendo do what Nintendo do. That's really the that is how they roll. For lack of better words.
The better question for Nintendo this week is: are they going to talk about Breath of the Wild 2? That's the bigger question with them right now.
God, holding my breath.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't see that happening at all.
I wanted to so badly. If they somehow were like, hey, Breath of the Wild 2 coming out this fall, and then in March, we're getting you Metroid Prime 4.
Oof.
I would need new pants. All of them would be worthless. Just new pants entirely.
Well, don't do that to your pants.
They ever do to you?
Terrible.
I had to wear them in public to make people happy. Terrible. But yeah, considering Forbes and wow, that's a huge advertisement. Forbes and Bloomberg both going into a lot of details on so many small parts here. Expected to happen. It might not happen this week. It might not happen next month. A lot of money's riding on in the next 2 weeks, but we'll see.
Like I said, I would not be surprised at all if ahead of the Summer Game Fest on kickoff on Thursday. So I have to look back at the schedule because there's so much shit going. Yes, Thursday. I would not be surprised if, say, Wednesday you get an announcement. But at the same time, I would also be equally not surprised if they just hold that until Tuesday and throw the middle fingers up. Say, we're using this to show our game first.
Or fuck it, just roll the whole thing out and then, a month afterwards, just be like, oh, by the way, this is coming this fall.
What's the perfect game to showcase this new piece of hardware? Skyward Sword!
No.
Coming in August.
I was going to hold my words on that. Hey, I'm going to have my eyes fucking peeled tomorrow, at the very least. Because right here, on this thing that you are seeing on this YouTube channel, and I'm going to link that in the chat too, we're getting an update finally on the fucking Playdate.
God, it's been almost 2 years since they've said anything about this console.
It has been so quiet. You can see literally in the chat since I joined, people are talking.
Oh, of course. I mean, whenever this thing was announced, it had a lot of momentum.
Oh, absolutely.
And they ran into a bit of an issue whenever they had issues with some of the patent stuff around it. But at the end of the day, it's still a very interesting platform, and what they promised to do with it is pretty keen. So I don't know. I'm curious I'm curious to learn more, and I'm not biased at all that it's made by an Oregon-based company at all.
I mean, considering the hype around it, they're almost, hurt by the hype in some ways, right? Because so many companies reached out to them because they wanted to join in on the train for this weird idea. And I think Devolver offered several development companies to them. That this is, I am so fucking excited. I don't care. I want this yellow beast in my hand. I need it. It looks so cute. Look at that fucking thing.
Well, apparently you're gonna have some pre-order info in this, so not
Yeah.
too much longer.
Well, pre-orders also come with everyone buying it because they're going to resell it on eBay, and I'm not buying it off eBay. So,
Fair point.
not all of the news right now is great and shiny news, though. Fans have been displeased with the announcement that God of War is being delayed a release window into 2022. It has been a few years since the initial God of War reboot came out, and fans have been salivating ever since the last game left them all with a teaser for the next game at the very end. So yeah, take the time you need to. I am not ever going to ask a company to release something they're not ready to, and don't fucking bother the art directors or the writers or any of that shit. Just fuck off.
Don't be dicks. Be good people.
Yeah, like a lot of peers who works at the Santa Monica studio, we're not like certain if she is writing with God of War. Definitely posted a lot of elaborate threats that people made upon this information being released, and so much that I believe it was the lead of Santa Monica Studio had to like speak up, like this is nuts. I don't understand people.
Are you talking about Cory Barlog?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think it was Corey.
I wouldn't be surprised. He's very outspoken about this stuff, and he's been very out there about making sure that his studio is run well. I say that without any real knowledge of anything that might be going on there, so there could be some crunch stuff. I don't know. Either way, Cory Barlog defending his employees is always a good thing.
Mhm. I don't know. It's you know what? Fuck it. Let's go right into the next one. We can spend some time on this. Coming up along with this was also some news as well that several of the upcoming Sony led games, God of War and Gran Turismo 7 especially, will also be available on the PlayStation 4, uh, which for reasons pissed off a whole lot of PlayStation fans who apparently have been trading on this idea of like especially making fun of Xbox for also working towards being backwards compatible because for some reason that has to make a game worse.
I think it might also just be like flat out entitlement. It's like, look, I'm special. I have a PS5. I should be the only one that gets the new games. And that just pisses me off. Like in light of like the shortages, the scalping, the ridiculous price points. Like, dude, we're all gamers.
Yeah, you have a slightly newer shiny piece of plastic. Um, it is not as if Sony doesn't fucking know how to develop for its own engine. and can't make a game that goes across generations, and that cross generation is still good on both SKUs.
I mean, I get the frustration from people that bought into the PS5 launch at launch,
Mm.
you know, and people, especially considering that there really hasn't been a ton of titles that have really made that purchase viable. You know, I mean, Returnal is great, but that isn't a. I would imagine that doesn't have a very wide audience. You know, as compared to other genres of games. And then really the only other one that pops into my head right now is the Demon Souls remake that launched alongside it. Which, don't get me wrong, Demon Souls is great, but that, I mean, that's if that's your launch, like one of your launch titles, like, not a lot of forethought put into that stuff. So, yeah, I could definitely see the frustration from people that have already bought in because like, you mainly got it because you thought that these games were going to be coming exclusively to this console. But at the same time, you know, if they are trying to leave some wiggle room in there to maybe put these games out on PS4, like I don't know so much for God of War. That game getting delayed to 2022 really makes me that seems too far out to be putting stuff on both on putting stuff out cross gen at that point. I would imagine by 2022 you are fully engrossed into the PS5 as your machine, as your only machine.
Mm.
But you know, I don't know. Like this is a very it's a perplexing statement coming from Sony here, especially considering that they have, like you said before, Travis, like they've been very vocal about moving all their focus to the PS5
Oh, absolutely.
going forward. It's just it's almost like they're trying to backtrack into some kind of conversation about cross-gen, but at the same time it's completely negating the entire selling point of the PS5. And they're lucky that that people are having trouble buying PS5s now, or else there might be more of a conversation about this going on.
True.
Mm, I don't know. This is frustrating to say the least. And honestly, it's kind of on brand for Sony to have kind of wishy-washy statements about this stuff. You know, I mean, just look at the whole debacle with PlayStation Now. You know, like where do their commitments really lie? And like they've had such weird messaging around PSVR, like so much so that people thought, including people on this show, thought that they were not going to be doing anything with that. And then like within a month of like the latest statement about that, they announced a new version of PSVR is in the works. Like the messaging is all over the place with their stuff right now. There's no clear focus, and it's all their own doing in that way. And I don't know. It's so odd because I would figure that the PS5 launch was so successful, especially in the face of all of the circumstances of the pandemic, whether it be people having strained financial situations or the chip shortages or the manufacturing issues. Like they had, despite all of that, they had a incredibly successful launch. They completely defied my projection. um, but at the end of the day, they're not riding the coattails of that because of how they're talking about their systems and their approaches going forward.
Mm.
Like it's not that hard to just say that these games are not going to be on the PS4 if they're not going to be on the PS4.
Right.
And any real any real change in message is going to be dissected so closely because that's what people have been conditioned to do with this stuff. Like how many times have we heard like all the different forms of exclusive at E3 conferences, and that delineates exactly how long this thing's going to be available on a certain console before it hits others. You know, there's so many different like very specific, minute ways that that the industry has concocted to um, make something feel like it is exclusive to the thing that you have.
Mm.
And this sort of statement slashes through that with a katana, you know?
Yeah, it's Sony's marketing hype for the PlayStation 5. Oh, the PlayStation 5 will have ray tracing and SD out the wazoo. Everything will be so fast. We will be making games on the PlayStation 5 that you could not make anywhere else. And I mean, I think for most of us here at the show, we're kind of aware that's bullshit. You could have still made the game with the PlayStation 4 regardless. It just would have been a little less shiny with the load times. Shrug. Um, but yeah, that's the marketing hype they built. That the PlayStation 5 is the most powerful gaming place you can be outside of building your own, like, gargantuan console or a PC. But this is a console you can buy for just a few $100s that will be blowing everything out of the water. And yeah, it's nice that I have a box that makes things load faster and be a little bit prettier, but not to a level that, like, it's blowing shit away that we could have never done. Yeah, just
Yeah, that sums it up. Just, huh.
yeah, it's exhausting. Especially the hype amongst specific console fanboys, as if like one console is intrinsically the best and the only thing you ever need.
Well, I mean, those opinions are null and void, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I think as a collective gaming audience, we can, I think, nail down a decree in the Gamers Bill of Rights that no longer do we have to engage in the fucking corporate fandom war ever again.
Yeah,
Be down for that.
I'm good with that idea, frankly.
MLB The Show is on Xbox. There's no more fandom wars.
We've fixed everything ever.
There's a Sony Studio logo on an Xbox game.
Oh.
It's over. Mission accomplished.
Okay. There's not a lot on this next one, but I don't know. I feel a little tired of companies just dropping a name and then fucking right off. And I'm starting that statement with Dragon Quest 12. We don't know anything about it. What console it's for, when is it coming out, what will be different about this game that was different than 11?
Better question is just why?
Yo, people love Dragon Quest, apparently.
Yeah, Dragon Quest still, like, it's not as big as it was in, like, the 90s and aughts, but still, people call out of work in Japan when a new Dragon Quest game comes out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is one of the best-selling games in Japan of all time.
All right. I was gonna say, like, I've seen the name. I have no experience with Dragon Quest 1 through 11. So,
I've played a bit of it. It is a game that knows its roots. There is no such thing as a Dragon Quest that you can, if you've played one and then you look at another of them, you can only go, holy shit, that's another Dragon Quest game. It's not like Final Fantasy where the next game may look way different, even if it's set in the same universe. No, Dragon Quest games look like Dragon Quest games. Incidents. Even during the years Akira Toriyama had nothing to do with the game, it still looked the same.
Hmm.
And it's the other big ass franchise that the Dragon Ball guy put out. Surprisingly, did we miss anything? Wow, this is the last discussion point of the evening. Surprising we got through all this so fast. So there was a Sonic stream for the 25th or was it the 30th anniversary of
Yep.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yep. Go ahead. Make us feel older. Sure. Sure.
And it left the entire gaming community going, what did I just watch?
It was very Sonic.
It was Super Sonic. Starting off, Sonic, the mascot costume, is going to be in the Tokyo Olympics game.
Might have been my favorite visual from the entire presentation. This and like the King Ice, like Sonic pendant necklaces.
Oh, we'll get to the King Ice. I love
King
that.
Ice.
But yeah, just in the middle of all of your humans playing sports is Sonic the Hedgehog.
I mean, it is Japan.
It is Japan. Also, a collab with 2 Point Hospital. So Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and I think Amy is down over there. I'm going to be working at a hospital.
Sonic got his doctorate.
Okay, so this is relevant to my interests because I've actually tooled around with 2 Point Hospital and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not saying it's not a bad game. I've heard good things, but Sonic in there?
well, we had Dr. Mario.
Yeah, but like Dr. Mario wasn't taking it like literal face value.
You were popping pills to squish viruses. Yeah, that's pretty fucking literal.
Okay, that is goofy, cartoony bullshit. This is putting Sonic in a sterile fucking hospital.
Have you played 2 Point Hospital?
No.
Okay,
They got
so
some really weird shit in there.
Is
so
it?
Two
Okay.
Point Hospital is like The Sims gone medical
Mm.
on acid.
Okay, so yeah, I thought it was basically The Sims, but a hospital.
Nah, it's more wacky than that.
Okay.
Like you'll have people coming in that have like a disease called panhead, and their heads have actually been turned into cooking pots.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's very on brand that Sonic will be a doctor in the 2 Point Hospital universe.
Very nice. Sonic the Fighters.
What?
Yes, it's playable in Judgment now.
Yeah. So you can play Sonic the Fighters again
In Judgment.
in Judgment.
Which honestly, Sonic the Fighters is a dumb fighting game that I absolutely love.
I'm
It
not
is
gonna
stupid.
hate anybody that loves it. It's a bad game, but you can still love bad games.
It is a bad game, but how else are you gonna get Knuckles in like a weird like Virtua Fighter style polygonal model like that?
Yo, the way they stretch in that game is makes me feel weird things. I don't like it. Like when you're knocking the shit out of Knuckles and he like suddenly expands 2 feet behind him and just don't like it. Uh, they are making an ultimate version of Sonic Colors coming
This
to
was
what?
sorry, I was gonna say this is probably like the one like big like game thing to come out of this because like Sonic Colors is actually like from what I recall the last like very fondly remembered Sonic game to come out.
At least the
in recent
last
years.
like 4D or 3D Sonic that people liked.
Yeah, like it's not. Yeah, Sonic Mania definitely is there too, but like Sonic Colors, like it's remembered very, very fondly. It makes total sense that they would put out a new version of that for all the consoles.
Yeah, it's coming to all of the consoles and the Epic Game Store. And it looks pretty good. I like the cell shaded look they got going on here. All right, there is more. Oh yes, Sonic Origins announced. This was the pack that I said we don't need again if they're doing it this way. It's all of the Genesis mainline Sonics and Sonic CD.
Which I will say this: the fact that they did not put Spinball in this makes me not want to buy it.
You know, like how many times have they put this out? Like also with like Comics Zone and other shit. Like I don't mind when it's part of like a historical pack, you know, where they go over the history of Sega and give you some like history of the games and background and shit. They do say there will be some interesting additions in here, but I don't know how much more there is to say about the initial trilogy plus the CD game that was all right.
I mean, they're good games. I think that the real draw of the package is what else they add on to it. You
Hmm.
know, are they going to put Sonic 3D Blast in there? Which I really hope not. That game is just terrible. Are they going to? You know, there's a litany of stuff they can keep adding to this, and it's also a matter of how they're going to monetize that. You know, so I don't know. Like this is fine for people that haven't played those original games and don't have a way to play them yet. You know, but at the end of the day, like people that are engrossed in the Sonic like ecosystem, like pretty sure they already have ways of playing these games. But whatever, you want to put it out, put it out. I'm sure it
Yeah.
doesn't take a lot
No,
to put these together and put it out there. Somebody will buy it.
no, that's like 30 megabytes on a hard drive. You got it. They're great games. Sonic 2 and the Sonic 3 and Knuckles, especially. Considering they didn't put Sonic 3 and Knuckles on the fucking Genesis box, kind of pissed me off at the time. So, man. Uh, the PlayStation Now is getting some games. I heard good things about Forces. It wasn't hated. Sonic Racing is fun, and Sonic Mania is the tits.
The best Sonic game to come out in the past 15 years.
Yeah, yeah, God. What was the last Sonic game I really like found myself loving before Sonic Mania?
Shadow the Hedgehog.
I think it might have been the Adventure series. I think I haven't like been happy with a Sonic game since the Adventure series. Jesus Christ.
All Hell Shadow.
I think there was something announced with the Shadow the or Sonic the Werehog. I don't remember what it was.
Sonic the Werehog? What?
Yeah, yeah. There's a werewolf hedgehog thing in one of the games. I can't remember what game it is, but they're bringing the Sonic the Werehog into other stuff. I can't remember what though.
Okay. I was gonna say,
It's
because like I didn't grow up with Sega. I was raised in a Nintendo household, so I didn't get a lot of experience with any of this.
it's okay. That Sonic the Werehog came much later in the Sonic universe. Like
Yeah,
this was like honestly it might have been like post the Shadow the Hedgehog
it
game.
was. It was like around the Wii era.
Was that the game where they gave Sonic a gun?
No. He just turned into a giant ass hedgehog, or they turned into a giant werehog is the official name of it.
Yeah.
In the game Sonic Unleashed, that was universally hated
Oh,
because
that's right. That's what it was. It was bad.
every time you turned into a werehog, suddenly you had to slow the fuck down to do 3-hit combos, eh?
Yeah, like it completely defeats the purpose of Sonic.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not super familiar with Sonic, but isn't the whole point of gotta go fast?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nail on the head.
Like, that much I remember about that game series.
Let's go into the merch. And one of these we're going to stop on for a hot minute because Brian brought it up already, but we got to talk about it. Yeah, there's this Jack specific little toy thing where you can launch Sonic at Robotnik. Cool. King Ice is
King
putting out
Ice.
Sonic medallions. You can baller ass shit with your fucking Shadow the Hedgehog iced out bling.
I'm not gonna lie, I would totally wear that ironically. I would just be a walking punchline and I would not care.
King Eye is not cheap, and those are actual jewels they use to put these together.
Uh,
God, this is just so dumb, but I
I
love
love
it.
it.
I love it so much.
I would never pay for one of these, but if you offered any of these to me, they would find a home and they would be loved. But
hey,
yeah,
I can't. Nope. Just nope. I can't.
King Ice medallions tend to go in like the $200 to $300 range. It looks like
That's it?
depends upon what we're looking at. Let's see, where is the King Ice store? Let's pull that up real quick.
I was gonna say, because like these, based on licensing fees, materials, and workmanship, I would put them in like the couple $1,000 range.
Like, let's see.
I'm sorry, is that a Harambe?
No, there was no Harambe that I see so far.
Oh, it's just generic gorilla. Okay.
Okay, so it looks
Hold up, real quick. Go back down, real quick. Is that panda holding a gun?
panda holding a gun. Yeah, Panda Man necklace.
God damn it. Sometimes I hate the world we live in, and then sometimes I see things that make me feel better.
Let's see.
Eh?
Oh, they have God of War.
Because of
I'm
course they
sorry,
do.
what?
They have God of War designs.
Those actually aren't too bad.
They have oh. Oh.
Oh.
They got Biggie. No surprise there. PlayStation buttons for $40. That's cheap. It's on sale.
Well, we know what you're wearing to the wedding.
Oh my god. Hollis would kick me the fuck out for that shit. Yeah, we're probably looking like, because of the size of medallions, more in the $150 to $200 range along the lines of like the Death Row.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see that
That's
for sure.
that's not that bad then.
Yeah, it's not a horrible price. It's gaudy as fuck, but that's the point. That's the goddamn point.
It's just a matter of if you want to pay like $150 to $200 to troll yourself.
Basically, yeah.
Unless you
I
get the
mean,
Tailswind, because the Tailswind is wholesome.
there are people out there who specialize in self-deprecating humor, so they might find it worth it.
Yeah, yeah.
Hence why I joked about getting the shadow one.
All hail.
All hell.
Dark Horse is putting out a encyclopedia, kind of similar to what they did with The Legend of Zelda. That's dope.
Yeah, and I think some of this is also I wouldn't I don't quote me here, but I think this also might involve some of the Sonic comic stuff that they've done.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I tried to zoom in here, but the encyclopedia.
Yep.
Mm,
Into it.
I mean, you figure they named The Legend of Zelda one the Hyrule Historia, so
and a collectible coin for the year of our Lord 2021.
Cool.
and it's $2.
It's 1 ounce of silver.
Oof.
Also, there's a new Sonic project. What is it? Yet again, we don't goddamn know.
I mean, it's Sonic. He's gonna run.
Yeah, it's going to be Sonic running fast, but let's talk about the history of Sonic the Hedgehog, eh? We have, just in talking, we have gone over Sonic the fucking Werehog, Sonic the Pinball, we have Sonic where he's been a fucking archer before, a knight. We talked about Sonic hanging out with a bunch of fucking colorful, um, whatever the fuck these things are.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention he's been to the Olympics against Mario.
Yeah, Sonic has been in some weird shit.
He's in Smash.
He is in Smash. Can't deny that shit.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna like tease a new Sonic game, showing him running fast is a pretty good way to tease it.
Yeah, they just showed him running fast through a forest, and he left a mark. This little doodad that means nothing to anybody.
I will say this: the art style in the little teaser that they put out there did harken back to the colors aspect, the colors realm
Mm.
of stuff in art style. So I would imagine it's probably a game that's going to be closer to that as opposed to something like Sonic Boom, which was not good at all. So I think that that's what we're teasing, like something along those lines. Obviously, there's not enough information here to really go off of anything. But yeah, it's there. It could also be a new adventure game. I mean, who knows? Like they could go anywhere with this, honestly. And they've gone plenty of like you said, they've gone plenty of places with Sonic in the past. So
Yeah.
this could be anything.
So,
But we do know he'll run fast.
on a whim, I threw Sonic the Hedgehog into the Google Play Store.
Hmm?
Holy fuck. They did a lot of mobile ports
Oh yeah.
of like
Yep.
some of the classics.
Yeah, they're not bad either. The guy that made Sonic Mania basically cut his teeth on those ports,
Yeah.
and he
Like
had
these
to
are all listed by Sega, which is cool.
he had to rebuild the whole fucking thing from scratch because the code don't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, we've this has been a roller coaster of a show, and do expect us to have some form of a talk, whether it just be over Discord or what have you. Keep listening to us in on the Discord, the announcement channel, etc. Um, at the very least, I'll definitely be talking a whole lot about what's going on. So feel free to join in. I would love to hear some of y'all's opinions as well. I know you all got the good stuff. But of course, we cannot finish an episode of Mr. Video Games My brain just wanted to say an episode of Sonic the Hedgehog discussion. I don't know why. Mr. Video Games, that is us. And it has been June the 7th, 2021, and our Mr. Video Games for the week. Nintendo is making a partnership with PlayVersus that will allow you to participate in varsity athletics if you're in high school starting this fall with Smash Brothers and Splatoon. I don't know if this is amazing.
This is dope.
Varsity level Smash Brothers playing. You can get yourself a fucking Letterman jacket because you're dope as hell on the Smash.
I mean, there's already been programs like this for other games that have been put in place in high school and collegiate level, obviously. And like it makes total sense that Smash is a big thing on the esports circuit. And Splatoon, like I'm not as familiar with Splatoon esports, but I'm sure it exists somewhere in some form. I mean, it's some form of a shooter. It's gonna have something like that. But no, this is dope. I love every opportunity for people to embrace something that they love and to be able to compete in the way that they want to. And this is awesome. Personally, like this is dope.
Why did I even take a look at the responses? I think I aged 3 years looking at that shit. No, this is cool as hell. I think it's goddamn amazing that you can get yourself a letter in high school now by just being that good at Smash Brothers. You can get into varsity play. Fucking do it.
Hell yeah.
Does that mean we're going to start seeing scholarships for this in the future, though?
Potentially. I mean, there are scholarships for other esports right now.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think specifically for League. And God, I'm trying to think if there's anything that there might be some for Counter Strike. Even though Counter Strike is way more popular and way more like the teams are way better in Europe than in North America. But yeah, I think Rocket League has some stuff also. Like yeah, there are universities that offer scholarships for esports.
God, and our parents' generation collectively cringes because they've been screaming at us since we were kids of video games are going to rot your brain. But
Fuck you.
now Junior has a chance at a full ride scholarship because he plays video games.
I mean, let's be real here. You have the same chances to get in the NBA as you do, like, being the next ninja. So, and you've never heard a parent being, pissed off and like, oh, you're trying too hard for this basketball scholarship. You're not going to go anywhere with the basketball. It's hard as fuck to get into basketball on, like, a level that will favor your future. It's if you are that good at video games, there's a good chance that you will at least make a feasible living playing video games. I'm not saying you're going to get rich, but fuck yeah, go for it.
Yeah, and honestly, the major thing for this with me, like outside of the scholarship stuff and that sort of thing, is that one key thing about high school sports is that it really helps build community amongst the people that participate in them, and it can be a really good social experience. And you know, taking that sort of aspect to an esports sort of thing, like this could be really good for people that want to engage with that and can build a community around that as well. This is really about continuing some grassroots stuff with keeping esports realms going. You know, like I just really like the community aspect of this too. It's all around a good thing, and I am here for it all day.
Yeah, I don't know if there wasn't a band in high school. I don't know if I would have even, like, technically I didn't finish high school, but I don't think I would have gotten as far as I did.
Yeah.
So yeah, if this keeps one person in high school long enough to get their degree, better themselves, and maybe get a college scholarship playing Smash Brothers. Awesome. I can't say anything negative about that at all.
No, I'm totally down for it. Like, this is amazing. I wish there had been stuff like this when I was in school.
I am very glad we took the wholesome approach to this. I was unsure which way the wind would blow, but I like the wholesome approach to this one a lot more. All right, this has been the episode for Monday, June the 7th, 2021. There will be no MVG plays tomorrow, as we anticipate that there may be stuff to talk about later in the week we may want to do. I don't fucking know yet, but also, hey Giant Pie, how you doing? Considering that this will be a very busy week for both Brian and Marilyn here, let's not torture them too long.
No, we'll talk off air and we'll set something up. We'll have something going on because like it is E3.
Yeah, it's the fun time. So yeah, Giant Pie, you came in just in time for us to say nothing tomorrow, but um, do keep your ears on the Discord. We'll be talking about things and shit coming up. Uh, Wonder Boy, you got any final words for us this evening?
Um, you can follow me on Twitter at WonderboyOTM. You can check out my writing at outsports.com and tollroad.com. The TOWLE road.com. Check out my queer wrestling podcast, LGBT in the Ring, every Thursday on the Outsports Podcast Network. You can follow that show on Twitter at LGBT Ring Pod. We're coming up on the 100th episode of that show,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be fun. But yeah, no. Other than that, just stay safe. Get vaccinated, all that good stuff, and get ready for a bombardment of game news because Jesus Christ, it's not going to end until after our next show next week.
Lady Marilyn, any final words this evening?
As always, don't forget to love each other from a socially acceptable distance. Wear a mask, wash your hands, be the change you want to see in the world, and just be cool. I will be coming back to streaming probably in the next few weeks. I hope soon. Um, I'm sorry that I haven't been around, but yeah, surgery. So,
They do happen though.
yeah.
I want to thank everyone who listened to today's episode, those who joined us in chat, Kelvin, Riley, Giant Pie, as always. I want to thank you guys for putting up with me, and you know, it's fun talking to you guys even on days where it's a little harder for me to make mouth words with the brain. So I'm very glad that we have an audience that is willing to put up with my dumb shit here. Thank you all for your time. Have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow.
Bye.